Greetings one and all, and welcome to the test with me, Lathrix. And of course, welcome to something which I probably shouldn't be doing at 3 AM after recording other things, but that's exactly what we're doing today. I'm not feeling particularly great, and I want to get a little bit introspective. Now, this game was covered recently by Markiplier, and apparently it's actually pretty interesting, because I tried my best to stay completely spoiler-free, but I do know that the ending isn't quite the big ending which you may expect from a game like this, but the questions do make you ponder about things. And honestly, it's been a good while since I've been in Introspective, and it's time for people to learn more about the voice from the screen. Who is Lathrix? So, new game, let's begin. Now, in order to begin, this is the most important part of the entire experience. You will be asked a series of questions, and you must answer them honestly. Now, when I say answer them honestly, I don't mean answer them how you'd like to answer them. Answer them with truth, even if that's hard to face. We all want to be good people. We rarely want to admit our faults, grievances, or mistakes. But you must decide what you truly want. Do you want this to work properly? Do you want the truth about yourself, your destiny in this world? Or would you rather live a lie just to hide from yourself? A mix of both. The process is very simple in theory, just answer a long series of questions. What's difficult is self-analysing your own psyche to evaluate the truths in your own mind, and life so that you can predict your future. The fact it's only in one corner is really unsettling. There's a lot of dark space here which I can't see anything in at all. You see, as long as you're honest with these questions and answers, you'll be able to see your own future here. This will tell you things you already know, but don't necessarily know that you know, you know? As long as the answers you provide to the questions asked are 100% honest and true, this process will simply unlock a part of your mind that you do not have natural access to. This isn't psychic. This isn't a personality test. This is simply nature. This is you. This is your own mind. Oh dear. This is simply nature taking its course. This is the human brain at work unlocking hidden truths within itself. While attempting to answer many of these questions, you'll often wonder things like, well, this answer depends on the circumstance. Create your own circumstances in your mind and answer the questions with a simple yes or no as you see fit. You may not understand nor realise it, but your mind will develop the situation required to answer your question the way it needs to be answered. I invite you to grab a drink of water, which I do have. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the experience. We are about to begin with a series of questions, and provided that you're willing to participate, we'll be unlocking some substantial information today. Here we go. Would you be alright with living alone forever? No, not in the slightest. I do very poorly when I'm completely on my own for too long. Do you like the colour blue more than the colour black? No. If you found money on the street and knew who it belonged to, would you give it back to them? Okay, so this is going to be one of those circumstance in your head. On average, yes, I would, but also, if someone really doesn't need the money, or I can have a better purpose with it at the time, perhaps I would keep it. Again, being completely honest, there are many scenarios where I would keep it, but the vast majority of them, I would give it back. If I didn't know the person, or if it is someone I know and like, yeah, the money's going back to them. It also depends how much money. Like, if it's £10, I'm probably just going to pocket it, because it's not going to make a difference to anyone, and I can't be bothered to go through the effort, same with anything less. But if it's more than that, of course I would do my best to give it back to the person, because it would affect their day-to-day life. So, yes, 90% plus of the time, I would. Are you sure you want the answers you seek? Yes, if I'm seeking an answer, I always want the answer. I'm that kind of person. Are you afraid of spiders? Okay, it's funny if anyone knows me. I currently have 2 false widows, I have 5 tarantulas, and before we moved into this apartment, I had 40 tarantulas. And 2 black widows. So, you know, no. I'm not, actually. If you knew you would emerge unscathed, would you jump into molten lava? Well, that depends. Would it still hurt me? Because unscathed means undamaged, not necessarily... Okay, so I'm going to say yes to this because unscathed, to me, would also mean mentally, and if it hurt as much as molten lava normally would, I wouldn't emerge unscathed. Wait, wouldn't Scave go to mental trauma as well? I'm saying yes, again. Circumstances in your own mind. Would you consider yourself to be fat? Sadly, yes. I put on loads of weight during the coronavirus. I was doing so well before COVID. I've always been a little bit chubby, but yeah. Since COVID happened, I've put on lots of weight. Though over the last 4 months, I've happily lost over 30 pounds again. So I'm on the way to being trim again. But yes, right now I would consider myself overweight. Would you say that you have lots of charisma? No, not naturally. I make friends easily. I apparently make a good first impression with people, but I'm not naturally charismatic. It's difficult to tell on a video, especially with a microphone, but I do have a stammer, which can be very severe some days. And that can hold me back quite a lot. And also, it comes with a facial tic. I can't look people in the eyes when I'm stammering, and my throat occasionally blocks up, and I tilt my head. It's not very pleasant. A lot better than it used to be, but the position I'm in currently is after 7 years of speech therapy, so my charisma is fleeting at best. Have you ever wished you could be temporarily frozen? Does that mean cryogenics, or does that mean I'm freeze? Okay, so to me, temporarily frozen, I'm going to say that's frozen in time for a brief period of time where I don't age and I basically go forward a brief bit into the future, or a lot into the future. No for cryogenics, yes for very short skips in life. This is all very interesting. Did you realise that the last letter of the previous 5 questions, when put together, spelled the name Satan? No, I did not. Does that make you uncomfortable? No, not in the slightest. Are you good at finding hidden puzzles or clues? I have days where I am so good at that, but overall, no. I get bursts of being good. Are you now wondering what other hidden messages are placed within these questions? Yes, but I'm probably going to miss them, because I am trying to focus on the questions themselves. Have you been entirely honest with your answer to the start? Yes. Are you afraid of the consequences for answering questions dishonestly? No. I imagine at the end you're going to give me one of those psych evals, which is interesting. I do love those to bits, the personality quizzes and stuff, but I'm not particularly afraid of the consequences. I would like the honesty to give me something interesting, though. Were you aware that there could be potential consequences? Yes. The end result will be different. Are you wondering how these questions began to take a strange turn? No. It looks like a horror game. You look like a plague doctor gone mad. No. Would you consider yourself to be captivated? Yes. Very interesting. I thought I saw something out the corner of my eye then. I'm fairly certain I'm going mad. Would you consider yourself to be brave? No, I wouldn't, honestly. Not above average. No, I wouldn't consider myself to be cowardly. I certainly wouldn't back down. But I really wouldn't consider myself to be brave either. I saved a woman from a bridge like 2 weeks ago. That was the bravest thing I've done in years. But no. How I said that made it seem like the bridge was trying to attack a woman. You know what? I'm not even going to explain what happened. That's what happened right there. Yep, the bridge. Oof, mean. Horrible piece of work. Do you view yourself as someone with above average intelligence? No. With the speech impediment, with the dyslexia, and a few other things, I was literally born with a hole in my brain. Little known fact about Lathrix. I think I'm a very determined person. That's how I got through university, despite everything. That's how I got my degrees. That's how I've got to the position in life I am now, and I'm very lucky with YouTube. I'm not above average intelligence. I am just very stubborn. If I want something, I will get that thing. But no, I'm not above average. I wouldn't consider myself especially dumb, but I also wouldn't consider myself particularly intelligent. Have you been looking for hidden messages in the questions? Oh, I completely forgot. No, I should have been, but I've been... Nope. I'll be honest, nope, because I'm a dum-dum. Are you wondering which hidden message you made me? Yes! Have you begun to wonder how long this test will take, or how many questions will exist in this session? No, I'm actually just enjoying myself. Oh, pardon me. I'm going to belch right into the microphone, because I'm that much of a lovely person. Would you consider yourself to be a patient person? Oh, yes, definitely. Do most humans annoy you? I'm quite introverted. I don't like lots of people around me, but once again, I hate being alone full stop, and most people I meet, I tend to get on with pretty well, to be perfectly honest, so no. I mean, there are obviously exceptions. Do you prefer animals to people? As I look around this room, I've got several geckos in this room. I've got snakes, tortoise, and everything else in the other room. I've got like 10 giant land snails and many other pets at the moment. Used to have chickens and a dog. I love animals, but they're not a substitution for human interaction. I love animals to bits. Animals are the purest thing. But I will say no. Do you believe in magic? No. Do you believe in God or existence of some form of higher power? I was raised a very strict Baptist Christian because of my grandmother and her Irish roots. But the rest of my family and I, not particularly. I would say I'm spiritual. I've not gone as far as to say I've had experiences, but I've had moments in my life where I've contemplated stuff like this, and it's a very borderline thing for me. For me, I'm going to say no, to be perfectly honest, but it's not a strong no there, really. Do you fear death? You know, when I was like in my early 20s, / late teens, yes, but lately, no. It's not become a fear of mine. Life is life, death is death. Everything good must end. The rose wilts. Are you attracted to someone whom you're currently not in a relationship with? Yes, I find people attractive who aren't my fiancé. My fiancé is beyond gorgeous, but yes. Did you answer the last question with 100% say? Yeah. Are you alone? Depends what you mean. You clearly mean humans, right? In which case, yes. Are you sure? Yeah, this apartment's too small for anyone to be hiding here. If a killer was trying to hide here, they'd have a really tough time. It'd be goofy as anything. It'd go from horror to comedy in 5 minutes. If I told you with utmost certainty there's something watching you, would you? Ha! There's something watching you. Yes, because I can see a gecko looking at me right now. Have you wondered who I am? No. Have you had the shivers at any point during the session? No. Do you feel like you're being watched? You know, funnily, that has triggered that response because I've been thinking about it, so yes, I'll be honest there. Have you considered quitting the session? No. Do you drink water every day? Yes, I've got some lovely lemon water right next to me. I do try my best to drink as much water as possible per day. Do you eat at least... No, at the moment, I fast once a week. Where I go a day with 0 calories. This isn't so much even for the weight loss. I just find personally it makes me feel better the next day. Especially since it's normally the next day I then go on a 15-mile... well, it used to be jogging, but at the moment I've hurt my back and legs. So actually at the moment it's a 10-mile walk for like 3 or 4 hours. About 4 hours really. I try and do that once a week just to stretch out. So no, I don't actually. Do you realise you've missed it? Oh! How? I don't believe you. I do not believe you. But I'm saying no either way. Do you realise you just missed... Are you wondering what... You don't know, because I don't fully believe you. Would it bother you to never know... Well, there. Would it bother you to never know without finding them yourself? No, it wouldn't. Is your favourite number 7? No. You see, now I'm trying to look at the messages like at the start. Okay, last one was I, that one was L. Ill. Life is short, but it's the longest thing we'll ever do. Do you agree? Yes. Illo. I'm looking at the... Oh, I bet it's the last... No, the last one with Satan was the last letters, wasn't it? Oranges cannot be compared to apples. Do you agree? No. They serve very similar purposes in life. You could compare their vitamin C content, you can compare their flavour to a certain extent, their sweetness, how long it takes to grow them, their use in certain dishes. Now, I'm being very literal here with this, obviously, and that's not how oranges compared to apples is meant to be taken, but you can compare a lot of things without them being direct equals to each other. It's not always fair, but there are always going to be elements. If I were to compare the speed of a car versus the speed of a bicycle to get to work, for instance, yes, you could say it's apples to oranges because the bike is cheaper, the bike doesn't cost fuel, the bike is better for the environment, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, if I'm going down to the shops, how long is it going to take me in the bike versus how long is it going to take me in the car? You can still compare the two things, as long as their purpose is somewhat relatable, or at least some aspect. So no, I don't agree in the slightest. Venus is sometimes... So it's been I-L-O-V... Okay, it's becoming a word now. Venus is sometimes referred to as the morning star. Did you know that? No. And I thought that was, okay, no. I love is now the message. Everyone deserves a second chance. Do you agree? No. There are certain actions, certain thoughts, not thoughts, certain actions with the thought behind it being malicious or being vicious in some way, which doesn't warrant a second chance, especially since you don't know who's getting the second chance from whom. Now, this is just in general, so it's not always going to be from you, but if someone wrongs me to a truly egregious level, I hit your dog, I tortured an animal, I did something truly brutal, I did a war crime, I did something which caused so much pain and suffering or so much distress to someone, especially if it's malicious, no, they shouldn't. I wouldn't say they automatically get a second chance. Now, I believe most people deserve a second chance, but that's not the question. It's everyone deserves a second chance, just the positive. Everyone. Me saying no doesn't mean that no one deserves a second chance. This is how I take it, and that's the important thing. I don't have to be right here, but if this is how I take it, then that's the question I'm answering. I'm sure other people will disagree here. I feel this will be a contentious one, but for me personally, no, not everyone deserves a second chance. As a real-world example of my family, a family member once stole my grandmother's necklace, which has been in her family for a very long time. The person who stole it from my grandfather, who was grieving at the time. If I ever see that family member again, believe it or not, they're not getting a second chance from me. They've done something which wounded my, at the time, grieving grandfather. That's just an example into my world, especially since, for me, I've got a very small but very close-knit family, and yeah. So no, not everyone deserves a second chance. Sometimes you can do something just... but it's in general. I would say no, again, there are always going to be situations where someone doesn't deserve a second chance from an individual, and that's how I take it. So no. Also, I think the word being spelled out is now I love you, because it's I love and Y, so I think I've actually got this one. I've probably missed like 5 others. You can do anything you put your mind to. Do you agree? No. Sometimes circumstance just isn't there. I think you can do most things you put your mind to. I'm a good example of that. I talk for a living. I couldn't talk till I was like 4/5, and then I had a tough time growing up with it, and yet here I am. And I am also a big supporter of stubbornness will get you places if you keep on trying. But no, sometimes circumstance out of your control will stop you from doing something, and there's no shame in that. It's adapting to the situation to get what you can, in my opinion. Being realistic about the circumstance is an important aspect of life. So, in general, I would agree, but since this is an absolute, you can do anything you can put your mind to. I don't agree, even if that's a bit nihilistic, even if that's a bit down. That's not to say you shouldn't strive for what you want, because you really should. Everyone should. Make your happiness, make your goals your goals. Obedience is more important than freedom. Do you agree? No. Underwater adventure sound like a fun time. Do you agree? Yes. Did you realise that the first letters of the previous 8 questions spelled the phrase, I love you? Okay, everyone. Yep. Secretly, I am actually a genius after being prompted multiple times to look and also being told I missed things. I finally got one of them. Yes. Do you wish to be loved? I am. I am loved. But I assume this is just in general. Do you want to be loved? Then yes. If I... Yeah, of course I want to be loved. Do you have any addictions? No... nothing I would consider an addiction. There's a lot of stuff I do routinely, a lot of stuff I crave to do. I know I joke about drinking alcohol on this channel quite a lot with rum, etc. But I drink like once a week at most, and I've gone... I actually, since the weight loss, it's been a couple of weeks now since I've drank, just because I wanted to lose some weight, so it's never got to the point of a problem. I've had friends with alcohol problems, and trust me, that really puts you off sometimes. And I was a pathologist, and my god, the amount of alcohol stuff there is horrendous. No, I wouldn't say I have an addiction to anything, really. No, it's just not an action in life I take which I seek above all others, especially to a detriment. And again, that's how I'm taking this. You could probably take addictions as, I want to run 5 miles every day, and I do it every day. You could stretch to be an addiction, etc., because the term is a bit weird, but at least for me in my head. I'm going to say no, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Do you just like the colour pink? No. Does the colour grey seem depressing? No. Wow, upstairs is doing the vacuuming, I think, and their vacuum cleaner is clearly broken because it sounds like the wails of the damned. If that's picking up on the microphone, I'm so sorry. Do you enjoy loud music? Yes. Do you like to dance? No. Would you consider yourself normal? No. Do you love your parents? Yes. Have you ever been lied to? Yes. Do you get angry often? When I was younger, with my speech impediment and everything else, and the bad luck health-wise I've had, I did go through a phase of being very easy to trigger into rage. And I mean pure, I want to break stuff rage. For context, I was born with a hole in my heart, which I only found out once I was born, and I died. And thankfully got saved, obviously. In my... Oh god, how old was I? Was I 11? 11 or 12, I was the youngest person ever in the hospital to contract the disease outside the hospital, and that did kill me, because I went into shock. And that's the second time I died. And that did irreparable damage to my liver and spleen, along with my kidneys, but most of my spleen is messed up, so I get ill a lot more often now, and soon I'm probably going to have to take some medication daily for that, because it's getting worse. I was obviously born with a speech impediment, which they think may be from a underdeveloped brain, which is funny as anything. I'm severely dyslexic. I've been quite good today, but I'm severely dyslexic. And I have a whole host of other minor health problems I have to push through, and yeah, because of all that, I got very angry when I was in my teens, early teens, because I felt like, well, this isn't fair. People around me don't have to suffer through this, and yet I'm the one who does. Thankfully, I had a very good friend network. I was never particularly bullied or anything, and I had a great life with my family, etc., which is also a support network. I met my fiancée very early on, who was a very close friend even back then. So now, no. When I was younger, yeah. Do you hold grudges? Yes, I do. It's rare for me to get angry. These days, I'm a very calm person. Honestly, I'm one of the calmest people I know. Because people always say to me, didn't that make you angry? And I'm just like, whatever. But if someone does make me angry, gets me to that threshold, I will hold a grudge, yes. It's not something I'm proud of, but we're being honest here. Yes, I do hold grudges. Have you ever forgiven someone? Yes. People can have forgiveness, of course. Have you ever lied? Yes. Do you think flowers are more beautiful than trees? No, I have a really cute bonsai tree in my living room. It's a little fig tree, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. But also, trees, I mean, we've been to Japan for the cherry blossom before. That is just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, so no. They're equal. Have you ever wanted to be an animal to the person? No, I can't say I have. Do you believe in you have psychic powers? No. Have you ever seen a ghost? I thought I did shortly after my grandfather's passing, and I was convinced until I started thinking more about what was in the room, etc. No. I've had moments where I think I've seen something, but then, in retrospect, no. Do you dream often? Yes. I have horrible nightmares. Yeah. I have vivid nightmares. It's horrible. Do you suffer from anxiety attacks when I was younger, teens again? Yes. Now, no, I haven't had one for... I think the last one I had was a minor panic attack, and it was like 4 years ago. Well, it was definitely pre-COVID, so many years ago anyway. I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago, so no. No, I don't. Nowadays, yes. Asked me 4 or 5 months ago, no, but right now I have forced myself back into a routine. I've even gone to the gym again, which has broken my body. I used to have muscle. I used to have arm muscle, but now I have nothing. But I am getting trim again. It's just taking a very long time. No. Have you ever felt betrayed? Also, I realise I'm now doing this to actually say, yeah, I felt betrayed before. Do you ever feel lost in life? Yes. Again, I've trained to be a pathologist. I was getting into cancer research, actually, and I had a job available in Greece, of all places, which I turned down when I realised I wanted to do YouTube. But occasionally it does flare up that I could have been something else. I love YouTube. YouTube is an outlet for me. It's a creative space which I never thought I'd have, and I love my job more than I could have ever loved any other job. But occasionally I do feel a bit lost and think about where my end game is and what I'm going to do. Do you consider yourself a natural leader? You know, at university, surprisingly, yes. But I wouldn't say natural, I would say forced. I don't know what happened, but I ended up in this group of people who were... let's just say they weren't natural leaders. Brilliant people, very, very intelligent, some just fantastic people. Still keep in contact with a lot of them. But I would say I ended up becoming the de facto leader for them a lot of the time. But I would never say I'm a natural leader. I mean, I used to DM for D&D and stuff like that as well, but no. No, not destroy the world. I live there. Do you sometimes dream about being a hero? I mean, yeah, nothing too major, but yeah. Have you ever been bullied? No, actually. Despite everything, that's thankfully something I have avoided. I don't like this question because yes. When you have a lot of insecurities and you wish to keep them away from other people, the most pathetic thing you can do is bully someone else to hide them. And it'll always be my eternal shame that yes, I have bullied someone else when I was very young. I wouldn't say I was particularly vicious, but it's more I jumped on the bandwagon with other people. It was never a targeted systematic harassment or anything like that, but yes, I will say, very shamefully, I have. Would you consider yourself to be a dreamer? And again, very young. It's a very sore topic for me because thinking I ever did anything like it was early teens. It was a lifetime ago now for me, but yes, I would consider myself a dreamer. Do you sometimes hurt people's feelings unintentionally? You know what? Yes. I can be very blunt when I'm speaking to people, and I have on occasion came across as quite rude with that. It's not one of those, I just say how I feel kind of things, I'm just speaking the truth. No, I'm just very blunt about a situation occasionally that can be very socially inept. Do you find space fascinating? Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I love Lathrix. Would you consider yourself to be an artist? I mean, I really wouldn't consider these videos art, especially with the level of editing I do, so no. I do occasionally paint. I do paint Warhammer models as well. I create beautiful backdrops in my pet tanks, but no. Yes, I am an incredibly good friend. That's a sheer lack of modesty, but I would say I am a very good friend. Would you consider yourself to be flawed? Oh, massively. Do you believe in perfection? No. Perfection is an unobtainable goal in my eyes. Have you ever stolen from someone? You know, despite the money thing I said before, the only thing I can think of stealing was when I was like 4 or 5 and I stole a toy from the shop and got scolded by my grandmother. My grandmother. No, I don't think I've... Especially from an individual. I am trying to be completely honest here. I'm trying to think of one occasion where I've actually stolen something. I've picked up money off a fiver on the floor. That's when there's no one who's clearly theirs. I've never found a large sum of money before, just like, and been like, oh, I've got to return this. I wouldn't even considered that. No, I don't think I've ever stolen anything. Would you ever kill someone under any circumstance? Well, if it's under any circumstance, I'm sure there'd be times where it would be the ethical choice. Kill Bob here, or 5 nukes get set off in your hometown. Don't know why they'd be focusing on there, but kill Bob, or Bob will kill your parent. Yeah, of course, there's... Yes. If you had one day to live, would you tell anyone? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Nurgle. What would I do here? Yes, I think I would. And here's my reasoning after having a bit of a think. It's going to be a matter of what can I do in one day? And there's very little I can do in one day. And I'd want all of my affairs to be set in order, and I'd want to try my best to try and convey my feelings, emotions, and everything else to as many people as possible. And doing that by myself is near impossible, so I would definitely tell people. I mean, they're gonna know I'm gonna die anyway. It's one extra day of them feeling a bit sad because they know it's coming is not kind, but I feel like I could improve the transition for them if I had a day to talk to them and share how much they meant to me. Also, I need people to feed the animals. Yeah, of course I would. Have you ever told your darkest secrets to someone? The fact I'm not actually Lathrix. Yeah, of course I have. Do you trust me even though you know nothing about me? No. Do you know who I am? No. If I appeared behind you right now, would you scream? I'm not a screamy kind of person. I'm a kind of... when I get scared, annoyingly, I kind of lash out. Oh god, I once punched a close friend of mine when I was like 16, 17 because they tried to scare me, and my instant reaction was to punch them in the goddamn crotch. It was just a horrible instinct. And they never forgave me for that. Oh. Yeah, my instinct is to flail. It's not like a manly, I'm gonna punch you and fight you off, you're an attacker. It's, I flail. That's what I do. I don't scream, but I flail wildly. I've hurt myself on occasion. I've smacked my hand against things. So no, not because you wouldn't scare me, but because I'd probably try and punch you. If I told you I'd been behind you this entire time, would that scare you? No, because I've got a mirror in front of me, because I like to see what's going on in this recording room. Would you consider yourself to be empathetic? You know, that's something I could do better with. I'm not terrible at it, and again, I do consider myself to be a very good friend. I will go above and beyond if I can for people. It's just... It's a very manual choice with that. It doesn't come to me naturally, but I've been blessed with very good friends throughout my life who've got me through a lot and sculpted who I am now, and I want to try my best to be that for other people, but I wouldn't consider myself to be naturally empathetic, because, yeah, I don't read people that well a lot of the time, and I need a bit of prompting. So no, a borderline, but no. Would you consider yourself to be romantic? Yes. I am cheesy as all sin. Have you ever been in a physical fight? No. No, it depends. Have I threw a punch? Yes. Have I been punched? Yes. Have I been in the fight? No. No, I wouldn't really do anything that classifies as a fight. Are you prone to headaches or migraines? Little headaches, yes. It's definitely from the screen. I've got the blue light filter and everything, but it doesn't help enough. Do you look at the ground when you walk? No, I tend to get lost in thought and just look dead ahead. Are you attracted to the opposite sex? Yes. Would you ever shave your head? No. Are you attracted to muscular bodies? Depends what you mean by muscular bodies. In general, I'd say no, to be perfectly honest. But being like trim and lean and everything, that's great. But no, I'm not particularly attracted to... See, when you say muscular specifically, I think more people who've put a bit more effort into it. It's not that I find it unattractive, certainly not, but I also wouldn't say it's something I would go for personally. No, I'd never dance. Do you trust your best friend entirely? Yes, because it's my fiancée, and I know that's cheesy as anything, but it's true. She was my best friend before we were together. Do you remember your childhood extremely well? Yes, actually. Would you rob a bank if you could get away with it? Ugh, no, I don't think I would. Do you ever dream about running from a killer? No, that's not what my nightmare's normally about. Do you ever dream about falling off a cliff? Yes. I've had that a few times. Do you ever dream about being naked in public? You know what? That like stereotypical nightmare / dream never happened to me. Do you enjoy scary movies or books? Yes. Do you enjoy comedic television shows or movies? Yes. Went very high pitched then. Yes. Do you like being the center of attention? Yeah, I do. I'm introverted, but I also like to hold court. Whenever I get going talking, I do like to have an audience. Do you feel like someone is always watching you? No. Have you ever wondered where it must be like to go to? Yes. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience? No. Have you ever punched a nun? Have I ever punched a nun? No. Do you like dogs better than cats? This isn't to say I don't like cats, internet, because once we move, because we're planning on moving this summer, we're getting a cat and a dog. That's the current plan. But I definitely prefer dogs over cats, okay? I've always had dogs. We used to live on a farm briefly, and yeah, dogs. Just about 3 or 4 dogs with the landowner and everything, and we had our own pupper, and I like dogs, you know? That's what I'm saying. Do you prefer to read more than you prefer to watch movies? No, I am terrible when it comes to reading. I've never been a big reader. Having dyslexia, for instance, even now, I'm kind of struggling with this. Thankfully, bright white text on this kind of background, I find very easy to read compared to a lot of others, so it's really helping me. But a lot of books, black text on white or tan kind of colours, I really struggle with that. During university, it was a nightmare. I used to get the dyslexic friendly fonts and stuff for computers and everything else, try and help me out, and I had to take pictures of the books occasionally just to help out my brain a bit. But no, I definitely prefer movies, always have done, always will do. Are you still wondering why I asked you if you've ever punched a nut? Yes! Do you get starstruck easily? No, not that kind of person. Do you hate going to big parties and social gatherings? Hate is a strong word, but in general, they do make me a bit anxious. As much as I've said I want to be centre of attention, I like small, intimate groups where I can be myself a bit more. Big part, so it's not so much hate, it's that I don't like them. But I'm going to say yes, because that's probably the closest. Is your favourite part of your birthday receiving presents? No. Anyone who knows me knows this. I am dreadful for purchasing presents for. I am so unmaterialistic with my wants. I like to do things, I don't like to have things. And anything I do want, I buy for myself. I am just very bad to buy presents for. I'm not someone who has a lot of interests which naturally have items for, if that makes any sense. The best it was, when I used to be into shooting, it was a lot better because people used to get me stuff to do with that, but yeah. I still have gold medals for a lot of stuff. Anyway, no. Don't care about presents. Seriously though, have you ever punched none? Like, really? Just BAM! Right in the face. None punch! No! Is it wrong? I want to. Did you laugh? Yes. Yes, I did. Did you say... How dare you? I wouldn't use a sweary word. No. No, I'm not eager to punch a nun. If there's a hell, do you think you're going to it? If it's one of the common faiths hell, then yes, I've definitely sinned. And I wouldn't be repentant because I don't follow those faiths. And playing the odds, if there is a hell, it's one of those faiths, because there's so many. I mean, based on the common understanding of hell and the rules of hell, based on the culture I've grew up in, I'm around, yes. Did you enjoy fantasy fiction games? Obviously, yes. I'm an adult. A healthy adult. Are you more than slightly uncomfortable right now? No. Is your mouth dry? No. It's lemony fresh, actually. Does profanity make you uncomfortable? I just went on the most rambling answer to this, so I'm going to try again. No, it doesn't. I don't swear in my videos in general, at least these days. I used to swear back at the early days of the channel, just because I don't like that in my content. Personal preference. Obviously, I don't mind people who swear in their content. That's absolutely fine. Most of the people I watch do. It's not an issue for me. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I make the choice not to use profanity in general because I used to use it as a crutch. Although it doesn't come across in these videos, at some point I need to record myself and actually post a video of me stammering because it is horrendous. I don't swear when I use profanity. A lot of people who have speech impediments will tell you the same thing. It's when I used to go to therapy and I spoke to people with stammers, that was a common thread there, at least in my experience, a limited experience. But I used to use it as a crutch. So if I was stammering saying, could you go to the fridge for me? Could you go to the... I would then probably call the fridge a very rude thing, and that would then get me back on track with my sentence. But I used to use it constantly, and it made my sentences seem unnatural and overly harsh. So I moved away from it, and that's why I don't use it so much in real life, and I don't use it so much in videos all that much. Now, I don't use it in videos as well because I like the family-friendly kind of thing, because I just do. If that makes sense. I want people to feel comfortable, and I find those videos with me not swearing more comfortable to listen to, and I have no problem with content creators who swear, because most of the people I watch swear a lot. It's just a personal preference there. So no, it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, but it's just something I choose not to use that much. No, I don't. I wish the Loch Ness Monster existed. Are you poor with money management? No, I'm not. I'm very frugal. Do you enjoy solving mathematical puzzles? Nope. Do you speak more than one language fluently? No. Oh, I was learning German when I was younger, and I tried again like a couple of years back. It's because I have German grandparents, but once they passed, I lost a lot of desire to do so. My father doesn't really speak German anymore either. He spoke broken German since he was born in the UK to German parents. No. Have you ever visited a country of your own? Yes, many. Do you enjoy coffee? Love coffee. Do you believe in demons? No. Do you believe in angels? No. Are you afraid of sharks? No. Do you prefer baths over showers? Strong yes. I've got these like rainbow bath salts at the moment, and they are so lush. They really are. I find showers so boring. Showers will clean you, though, properly. So I have a lot more showers than baths, but I prefer baths. Does the smell of perfume or cologne give you headaches? No. Headaches? No. Did you see that shadow move in your room a few moments ago? No. Did one of the animals get out? Do you ever hear your name being called even when you... No one is calling. I've had that quite a few times in my life, so yes. Would you count that as a hallucination? As an auditory hallucination? Would it just be your brain likes to try and listen for things? Which I guess it still could be hallucination. I don't know. Do things in your home often go missing and then reappear later? No. We keep a very clean house. Do you ever hear footsteps around you when you're alone? No. Do you ever hear random knocking noises around you? No. Do you often look at the same time on the clock? Yes, I do. I do. That I do. There are certain times a day I think I constantly look over and, oh, it's 6 PM for me. Every day, 6 PM. I always seem to know what time it is. Have you ever felt your feet being grabbed at night while sleeping? No. Do you have any pets? Yes. Is your favourite colour green? No. It's deep purple and blood red. Though lately I've started to like yellow a lot more. Are you attracted to a family member? And safely say no. If you won the lottery, would you share the money with anyone? Yes. If you could be the dictator of your own country, would you accept the role? Yes. I'll try and be a good person. Do you ever wonder what it would be like in prison? Yes. Do you like fishing? Yes. More so when I was younger, but yes. Do you like hunting? So... Weird story time of Lathrix. When I was younger, I did used to go hunting with my family. I don't actually eat meat anymore. Well, I'm a pescatarian. It's more for health and how it makes me feel, less so for ethical reasons on a side note. So that's a bit of a weird change of pace for me. But yes, my grandfather was a butcher and he used to go hunting. I got very good with a gun because of that, to practice. And because of that, I have got like 6 gold medals from scouts and stuff with air rifle shooting and clay pigeon shooting with a shotgun. I can't say I didn't enjoy it, but I would never go on it anymore. I've changed my mind about things like this. Hunting for sport and just pleasure, I no longer am a massive supporter of in general. Though I wouldn't stop someone from doing it, or certainly be like for a ban. But me personally, I don't get enjoyment out of it in the slightest anymore. I feel bad for the animals now. I've changed my mind about this kind of thing. I mean, I used to have pet pigeons. Like, every animal is adorable once you get to know them. Even camel spiders, and those things are horrific, and I had one of those too. So no, not anymore. Do you like camping? Yes. Strong yes. Do you like guns? Yes. That doesn't mean I know much about guns, about that, because people always ask me, oh, what do you think about this gun, or what do you think about this type of range or brand? I'm very bad at that kind of stuff. It's the mechanical element of it which I particularly enjoy. Are you getting tired of answering questions? No, I'm getting tired in general, but not for that. Do you consider yourself to be kinky? Eyes are the windows to the soul. Do you agree? I think they can belie a lot of emotion. So, yes. Do you always keep your promises? Well, no, but I try my best. I've definitely failed at those a few times. Do you ever completely trust someone who's lied to you? I mean, I have a close friend who's lied to me before, which I would trust explicitly. Was that the right word? I don't know. Yes. Oh, it's difficult, but yes. You can definitely claw yourself back from that. Do you ever enjoy being drunk? Yes. Do you like tattoos? I mean, my fiance has a tattoo. My mother and father both have tattoos. It's what I think tattoos can be fantastic, but they can also be atrocious. And in general, they're not something I particularly like. And my fiance knows this about me. Just not like it's a betrayal there. I don't think I'd ever get one for myself. I was tempted in my very, very early 20s. I was thinking about getting the Chaos Star on my shoulder. In general, no, not really. Do you believe you have a soul? No. Did you cry this week? Actually, yes. My dog back in England might be being put down soon because of mounting health problems, and she is 15 years old, which is ridiculously old for a pedigree Springer Spaniel. She was a hunting dog back in the day, and she's starting to look pretty bad. We're actually going to the vets on Monday, Tuesday, and they're discussing options if they can help her or not. And my mom was tearing up and crying on the phone, and yeah, I cried. Are you upset with someone right now? No, actually. Is there someone you're not being completely honest with daily? No. Do you understand how this works yet? Not really. If you answer the questions twice, your truths may change. It's not just about answering the questions, it's about the time you spend answering them, the combination you answer them in. It's about many different variables you'd never guess. Do you understand? Yeah, you can be asked the same question 100 times and you might get slightly different answers each and every time because your truth, your mindset at the time won't always be exactly the same as it was before. Your mind, your thoughts, and everything else is your experience, and your experience changes even when discussing the question. Are you wondering if the end of the test is coming soon based on the previous question? Yeah. If I were to tell you this entire process was planned here for you, specifically you, to learn something about yourself and anyone else that bothers using this is just a byproduct of its intention, would you believe that? No. Are you afraid of being abandoned? No. Like, I think being abandoned would be a horrible thing, but I just don't think it'll happen to me. Are you afraid of dying alone? I'm not planning on having children, and this is the one fear from that. So yes, I am afraid of being the last person in my close family and dying alone. That is a legitimate fear of mine. Okay, really annoyingly, the recording software just cut out then for a second. The last question was, am I afraid of being murdered, or am I worried about being murdered? I answered no, because it's something I have no control over. I had a health scare, for instance, earlier last year. Wow, time flies. And I had to do loads of blood tests and everything else, and I'm still not worried about getting something like that, because I literally have no say over it happening. I can't control it. I can do my best to prevent it, and I will do that. But things like that, you just have to keep on trucking on, otherwise your whole life revolves around the worry of what can happen to you, especially things you have no agency over. Okay, are you always on guard waiting to fend off an attack? No. Do you feel like I know you yet? I feel like you've asked a lot of questions, so you might know a bit of me, so I'm telling you. Have you heard any strange noise while answering these questions? Yeah, the bloody vacuum upstairs. That's not odd, that's just apartments being apartments. I think we have enough information about you. Whether you skipped questions, and you can skip questions, answered honestly or dishonestly, took loads of time to respond, or answered quickly, or loads of time to respond. I'm sorry how long this video is going to be. Quickly without reading or understanding properly. I've been able to tell. I'm calculating your results. I'm analysing you very carefully. I'm judging you. That's not what you've told me. This is what I can. This is what I can conclude. You're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Duh. And that fact alone is what makes you so incredibly special. Ah, I'm a special boy. Your scars are reminders of what didn't kill you. Your mistakes are who you are. The lessons learned are what you needed to be who you knew. The lessons learned are what you needed to be who you knew you could be all along. Okay. Forgive yourself for the mistakes of the past. The people you felt you should have paid more attention to. The people you felt should have given more of a chance. You should have given more of a chance. The people you felt you didn't treat the best. Okay, that one actually resonates very strongly with me, and I'm not happy with that. You are not the person. You don't have to be that person again. Every single second of every single day is an opportunity to change and be the person we wish to be. I agree with that. One piece of advice I must offer you is that your time is not infinite, and your opportunities aren't either. You may not be able to change the past, but you can absolutely change the present, which will vastly alter your future. If only you believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. If only you could see what I see, you'd never doubt yourself ever again. Keep at it, make the change, and flourish. Your secret word is apprentice. Sorry, appreciate apprentice. Remember this word. This will come in handy. What? I think upstairs is using a saw. It's 3 bloody AM. I've only just realised, why on earth are they vacuuming? Sorry, completely aside. What are you doing? They're normally such good neighbours. What? Okay, clearly they've broken something or something's gone wrong. Take the secret word that was assigned to you at the end of your session and leave it in the comment for us. We will be selecting some of you based on your answers to be included in a future project. Okay, I think that might already be out though. This is a decently old game. Don't be afraid. This is an opportunity for you to be part of history. This is a chance for you to be a part of something greater. Be sure to note your secret word in the comments. If you do not wish to be part of the upcoming project, simply leave your secret word out of the comments and we will not select your name. We appreciate any and all comments you leave and will always read them thoroughly. Thank you for taking the time to answer these questions. I know they've been of some help to you. And if they aren't yet, it will all make sense very soon. Trust me on that. Okay, so that was really interesting. Yeah, the ending wasn't anything too major. I thankfully managed to stay mostly spoiler-free outside of what the first 4 or 5 questions, because of the whole Markiplier video. I was listening to it in the background while I was doing some editing. Yeah, hopefully that lets you know a bit more about me. I think I've answered everything. Honestly, I may have rambled way too much again. It's super late now. It's like 4 AM. I'm gonna go to sleep, and this will probably be a video. because I'm currently doing a Stellaris full playthrough, and that's probably not going to be out until early next week, so I want something to post, and this just seemed really fun. Yeah, so that is Lathrix. I like the colour purple. Well, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that more random little videos like this and the Wandering Village, little one-offs, are something you'd like to see more of on the channel. Because honestly, I want to start including more random stuff like this, because I feel like I've got a bit shoehorned into doing certain things lately, and it's a bit of a creative box, which I want to break. So, hope you enjoy. Have a lovely day, and goodbye.